I'm Homer Buell. This is my brother Larry. Our family, the Buell family, is very honored to be chosen the award winners for 2012 of the Leopoldo Award here in Nebraska. We would like to invite you all to come on a tour of our ranch. My great-grandfather homesteaded here in 1883. He had the ranch, his son Homer. My grandfather was very much of a hunting enthusiast, fishing, loved the land, loved the wildlife, and he did a lot of things on the ranch. He developed a lake where I live now. My dad was much of a cattle rancher, I think, but he also inherited from his dad and his grandfather that love of the land. And I think each generation, which you find in ranching to a large extent all over the sandhills, all over the United States, all over Nebraska, is people want to give something to the next generation. They want the land to be better than what they received it. And the good thing about that is you can do that and do it in a way that will make you more profitable.
We have tried to manage this ranch the best we can for our families as a business, but also having a high priority on the ground that we have so we can pass it on down to our kids.
It's not just what Larry and I have done in our families over the last 30, 40 years, but what each generation of Buells have done. Because I think we have had a family which has been conservationist throughout those generations. So if we're gonna maintain these generations and be here, fourth, myself, and my kids fifth, then you have to be profitable. You can be profitable and treat the land in the wildlife and in the way it should be treated, and the two go together. The sandhills are a fragile ecosystem. I mean, much of it is not really enough production there to harvest it with equipment. It's not suitable for farming. The only thing that's really suitable is to be grazed, to be harvested by some type of animals. And we always chose to do it with cattle because cattle do well. We're a tall grass prairie. It's good cow country. We do a lot of rotational grazing. We try to not be in any one pasture more than a week or maybe 2 weeks in an entire year. And that may be done at different times, but short duration grazing, where there are only a short period of time. And because of that, the grass has a lot of time to recover. But then we can move through those pastures and give more rest time. And I think rest is the key, time for those plants to recover, time for them to get the height, and then with the height you have above ground affects your root structure below ground. But the big thing, because the land is the biggest resource that we have. We have the people, we have our equipment, we've got our capital, but the land is our biggest resource, and we need to manage it well. Because of that, and especially over the last 15 to 18, 20 years, we've used a program called the Grazing Manager. And we felt back 20 years ago, we really need to focus in on how we might monitor what we're harvesting from the land, and then how that changes over time.
We try to sit down and look at the groups of cattle that we have, the land that we have, so you just can't say that one way is the best way to graze ground. You have to look at the total picture, whether it be the cattle, the land, the wildlife, and try to bring that into your grazing management. We have fenced out some of the Calamus River, and we only graze it every other year. We're trying to get the pheasant population to come back. We have another place where the lake and the river comes through that we don't allow any hunting or any grazing, so the deer, the turkeys, the geese can have a place to go as kind of a sanctuary. We also do a program called CSP now, that it was a government program. We wait to hay some of our meadows till later in the year, so if birds are nesting there and different stuff. So there's all kinds of little different tools that you can use to benefit the wildlife, but you have to realize we're a family-owned operation, so we have to get our living from this ranch. So we have to make it economical, but we can make it economical and work with the land too.
I think the quote that Ronald Reagan had, talking about how each generation stands on the shoulders of the previous, applies to our ranch, applies to many ranches. Each generation has taken the technology, the information, the knowledge they had at that time, and have been stewards of the land, used the land in such a way that was productive for them, but they knew it'd be productive for the next.
You know, my father was a great operator, and he did the best he could with the tools that he had. My brother and I were able to expand on that through different education, and now I see my daughter and son-in-law, they have different ideas, which are great ideas, and now we're expanding on that. So I think the generation turnovers definitely help the operations, but you have to keep an open mind and let the younger generation do what they want to do in correspondence with you.
We also have always been big believers. We do this with the people that work for us, with education. Continuing education is so important. We'll send our employees. We tell them when we hire them, you'll go to at least, maybe more, educational event each year to help you learn more about ranch management, about how to manage this grass and manage a ranch. But you continually learn, you do it right yourself, and they'll do it right too. So it's just really neat the way you can do those things together and maintain something that will be here for the 6th generation, the 7th, we hope, and on.